In continuation of its tour across the 6 geopolitical zones of the country, the train of the Advisory Committee on the proposed National Conference made its latest stop Friday in Lagos to gather input from a cross-section of Nigerians and groups. The turnout was quite impressive, and outside the venue of the event, some groups demonstrated their support for the proposed conference with placards bearing different inscriptions. Inside, it was serious business as various groups took turns to address the gathering, wheeling out suggestions and recommendations. But before that, though, some took up time first to address some of the issues critics have raised over the holding of the conference.
Nobody should make an apology for taking down sovereign or not. In any case, it is semantics. Whether you put sovereign or not, it is a conference of the sovereign people of this country.
We strongly disagree with those who are saying that this is not the time to hold national conference. Are such people asking us to wait till we get to refugee camps before we begin to hold pity party, lamenting that we should have sat down to discuss our problems? We must stop agonizing and organize for change.
Done with all those, the recommendations began to pour in.
We recommend 2 tiers of conferencing. There is what we call the administrative regional conferencing and the pan-Nigerian conferencing. And the administrative region conferencing, of course, we start from the lowest hamlets, the villages, the towns, and all that, and we'll move up to the respective states and, of course, to the region. But the purpose of this first conferencing tier is that whatever is agreed at the administrative regional level will be the working document that administrative region will present at the Pan-Nigerian Conference. And that is what will be negotiated upon. We are also recommending that under no circumstances should any special interest group like labor, women should be considered. They are all members of a nationality, and if they are interested in participating, they should involve from their nationality.
If you decide to use the zones, even though they are not in our constitution, but if we accept it, then of course we can use that and we have equal representation from each. The same with the states, if it is possible, we can also use that. And we have given some numbers, which doesn't come to 100 like Wally, but it comes to about 300 representation.
We suggest 6-month duration for the conference from January to June 2014, so that the 2015 elections can be conducted because of the new constitution from the conference. So those who are developing unnecessary phobia, this is not elongation.
As to what the proposed conference should actually discuss, the suggestions were not short in supply and not new.
We are looking at the tiers of government, tiers of policing. We are looking at the type of legislative structure, whether it should be unicameral or bicameral, and the nature. We are looking at devolution of power, the responsibilities of the federal level and at the regional level. We are looking at internal security, resource control, who does what and who gets what.
The agenda for the conference should address all contentious issues and seek to provide workable solutions to the many problems confronting the country. We suggest the following: structure of Nigerian resource control, form of government, ethnicity and religion, self-determination, the economy, gender-based rule of law, fundamental human rights, education, youth, social security.
What is likely to be a potential point for a future clash between the government and delegates to the proposed conference will surely be what happens to the report after the conference will have taken place. The president has said the outcome would be handed over to the National Assembly for consideration in its ongoing constitution amendment process, but the strong opinions emanating from this hall suggest otherwise.
To support the view that the new constitution produced shall be promulgated by the National Assembly, repealing Decree 24 of the 1999 Constitution, which the military used to usher in the existing constitution. The draft constitution from the conference shall be taken to a referendum, after which the president will forward an executive bill to the National Assembly to promulgate the constitution as passed by the people. without the privilege of changing any document.
Whatever it takes for Mr. President to do to convince the National Assembly to go along with him and the people on the outcome of the conference, let him do it. And anybody who can join his speaking, please let us persuade them, so that we have a people's constitution in word and in deed.
They will have the opportunity to vote. And we have, for voting, it has to be a referendum. It could be on zonal basis. It will also be on state basis. But whatever basis we use, each of those entities will have one vote. And 51% of the vote in each of those entities will mean yes. If it is no, red, then it's no. But we're also suggesting that if anyone either walks out of the conference, out of whatever, they can go and form their own country.
How the advisory committee and the government intend to handle this sensitive issue remains to be seen. The leadership of the National Assembly has so far not minced words that it remains the only legal authority empowered to make laws for the country. It expects the resolutions of the proposed conference to be handed over to it to decide how to incorporate it into its own constitution-making process.